What's cracking, y'all? It's Voch Lombardi. I got a text from Law Nation the other night, and he was like, yesterday, he was like, "Yo, Voch, let's compare notes for who you think the final 53-man roster guys are gonna be." He sent it to me, Foots, and Okoye. So I was like, "Cool, I'll take a look at this." I fell asleep. My bad, Law. I fell asleep, but I got up and did some other things. Had a meeting this morning, so I'm like, "Cool, let me break down this roster and start writing stuff down." So what I wanted to do, because I know there have been cuts and additions between the draft and now. So I just wanted to get an idea of where the roster was right now so I can get a, just a perfect idea of, who's been cut or who do we still have on the team right now. And it just so happens that when I looked, the Cowboys made some cuts today. Pace Murphy, Wyatt Miller, Clayton Thorson, Mitch Hyatt, Charlie Taumopeo, tight end from Portland State, undrafted free agent guy, Adam Redman and Devin Smith. Damn, Carl Lewis, how this happened? So I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts and opinions and just, the moves surrounding those guys. We'll start with this bunch of guys right here, these three fellas right here, because they're all offensive tackles. Mitch Hyatt, Wyatt Miller, and Pace Murphy. Gone. Now, Mitch and Wyatt had injury waiver next to their name, so I'm assuming they got hurt and let go. And they're probably let go because they're not available right now. So excuse me. So that's probably what that is. But I started thinking about the offensive tackle position, right? So when you look at practice squad, right? I don't think practice squad guys got cut this week. Why? Because you would want to keep those guys, and there's still more practices to be practiced until you make those last cuts. So I think cuts today is going to be indicative of who is going to make the practice squad because they want those guys around. And I don't think Mitch Hyatt's going to come back. I don't think guys like Pace Murphy is going to come back. You know what I mean? And I think just looking at the tackle position, I think they consider Terrence Steele to be a practice squad guy. Now, me personally, I saw Terrence Steele get whooped in every single one-on-one rep at the Senior Bowl. Y'all can go check out my Senior Bowl film session day 1, 2, and 3. But he didn't win, not one time. So I kind of got a bad taste in my mouth in the terms of having Terrence Steele on my team. But Isaac Aracon, our tackle from their Mexican football league or whatever, he's transferred over. Maybe they see him as a guy that has a good base they can work with. And, if you're a guy like that, you got 3 years on your contract or whatever, maybe they feel like in 3 years they can turn him into something just in terms of his length, size, and, how he can move a little bit. He's just missing, just a little bit of nuance on the football side. So maybe they feel like they could just take his size and turn him into something. I think he'll eventually be a practice squad dude. But just in terms of tackle, I think that means a lot for Brandon Knight. I think Brandon Knight's kind of got his feet in the fire. But let's segue into Adam Redman and how he got cut, right? If you look at these four guys, the one guy that has in common than these four is Cam Irving, right? Because we know that Cam Irving is a guy that can play center, guard, and tackle, whether you watch him at Kansas City or you watch him at Florida State. You know what I mean? He's played center, both guards, and tackle. So him being a dude, you can consider him extra valuable because he can give you more at more spots. So when you think about your guys and you factor in, Connor McGovern, you factor in Tyler Biadasz coming in being a guy that's probably, that you probably feel really good about at the center spot, right? And then you got Joe Looney, who came in ready to bump heads with these young boys, and Joe kind of kept his spot. Shouts out to Joe for going in there and, fighting for his right to party and all that. So with those three guys, you can kind of maneuver and switch and do whatever you want to do with them in terms of interior, center, and left guard or whatever. That being Connor McGovern, Tyler Biadasz, and Cam Irving. You got three swing interior dudes, guard and center, right? Then you got three swing tackles, with that being Brandon Knight, Cam Irving, and whichever one of these tackles end up being your future tackle dude. I guess it's possible that Terrence Steele and Isaac Aracon, I know it's Isaac Alarcon, But Short Dog has dubbed me the man in Mexico, and I do know a little bit of Spanish, and that's Isaac Aracon. So don't get confused when I say that name, and you're like, well, what about Isaac? Well, yeah, it's Isaac. Tell me if you learned something there about Spanish. Shouts out to Short Dog, and shouts out to the Lunatic. We got a lot of Spanish speaking brothers and sisters, hermanos y hermanas. I'm rambling. So yes, so you got 3 swing interior dudes, and for sure you got 2 swing tackles right now. So that's what, 9 offensive linemen? Like that's your list right there. Your big 5 with Joe Looney at center. Connor McGovern and Tyler are gonna be, like ba-da-da boom boom boom, and then you got Cam and Brandon. So I think that those are your offensive linemen. So when we're creating roster scenarios, those need to be you guys. And Terrence Steele and Isaac are probably going to be practice squad cats, assuming they don't get cut. But practice squad is 16 guys this year, so we can really use those spots to our advantage. Anyway. Clayton Thorson, interesting. I thought he was going to be a guy that was possibly going to hang around and bend DiNucci was probably going to end up being practice squad guy because he's 7th round pick. I don't think anybody's waiting till we cut Ben. So I thought Clayton Thorson, a guy that that's played with Mike McCarthy, a guy that Mike McCarthy brought in himself. I thought Clayton was probably going to be a guy that was safe. But if Clayton cut, that just means Ben is doing good in practice or doing well in practice. So that just kind of lets you know, because we haven't been watching. So that kind of lets you know that Ben's kind of been holding down that third quarterback spot. And to be fair, we got 16 practice squad spots. You can still put Ben DiNucci on the practice squad, go heavy elsewhere, and since it's 16 spots, if you need Ben in a pinch, you could just bring Ben back up. You see what I'm saying? From the practice squad, because it's 16 spots. So I think that's going to help there. So that's Pace, Wyatt, Mitch, Adam, Clayton. We ain't got to talk too much about Charlie, but I think what got Charlie pushed off a bridge is Dalton Schultz really likes stepping up or whatnot, right? If I could just give an outline on the tight end spots or whatever. We feel really good about Blake, or at least I do, and we as a whole feel solid about Blake. That's that. Blake Bell was brought in, but he's mostly going to be like blocking guy. I think what happened, like Charlie had some pass catching ability to him. And Sean McKeon is probably going to be a blocking tight end. Sean McKeon is an undrafted free agent rookie from Michigan. Like I said, Charlie's from Portland State. So what I think the problem with that was, I just think Sean McKeon ended up blocking better than Charlie. And think about the reports that we got from, just about Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is a guy that's giving us tight end stuff. And if he's going to be tight end anywhere, we're thinking of Dalton Schultz as a blocker. But Dalton Schultz has upgraded his catching ability as well. Plus, he's giving us snaps at fullback, which I think is going to be interesting. I would love to see how they're gonna pull that off. So I just think that we got enough tight ends on this team, which is 4 guys, to where I just think Charlie just didn't hang in there long enough. Charlie just didn't give us enough to warrant him being on the team. And on top of that, like Sean McKeon still could be practice squad guy, and we just rolled with 3 tight ends, both Blakes and Dalton. So that's just that. Devin Smith is interesting. It's crazy. Like we felt really, and I still like Devin Smith, but we felt really good about Devin Smith last year, right? Like, yo, man, if Devin Smith is our 4th receiver, boom, boom, boom. Well, that just lets you know how much Cedric Wilson has come, how far Cedric Wilson has come. Cedric had to come in, and he had to overcome his injury. He had to heal up from that. Then, we're letting him get rolling. So that kind of just gives me the idea. Would Devin Smith have made this team last year if Cedric Wilson would have been healthy? That's interesting, right? So, if anything, I thought Devin Smith was at least going to be good enough to be a receiver on the team, right? Because when we look at the guys that make our team, okay, you either going to play your position or you're going to play special teams. Like, that's just the deal. Like, Ventrell Bryant's probably going to make the team. But he's going to make it as special teams. I don't know how many receiver snaps he gets. Noah Brown has improved his receiver ability, but he's special teams guy. That's what he's there for. So that's 2 receivers that's there. Then you got your big 3 guys. You probably really only got 1 spot left. For a wide receiver, and that being your 4th guy. And I think what put Cedric over the edge is that he can go out there and be a gunner. He can go out there and be punt returner, kick returner, and he was probably just a better receiver than Devin was. Now, if we know Devin has anything, Devin has speed, but there may be some more nuanced things that we weren't able to see that gave Cedric Wilson the edge in the wide receiver race over Devin Smith. If this was simply about wide receiver stuff, then I'm sure Devin Smith is a better wide receiver than Ventrell Bryant. I'm sure Devin Smith is a better receiver than Noah Brown. But if we're carrying 6 receivers, wide receiver 5 and 6 got to play kicking game somewhere. I don't think Devin Smith was going to play kicking game better than the last 2 guys, Ventrell and Noah Brown. So what that means to me is that John Vay is going right to the practice squad. Aaron Parker is probably going to be practice squad guy, and the rest of the guys like Guidry and like the rest of those guys, they'll probably just get cut. But I didn't want to hold y'all too long, man. And like I said, I didn't want to get in. I don't like getting into news too much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's news. I don't be wanting to get on camera every day and talk. But I thought this was interesting in terms of like roster building and me putting together my 53 roster. Just kind of giving me ideas of who is and is not going to be there. So Devin Smith and Adam Redman was the big ones that jumped out to me. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Adam Redman and Devin Smith end up playing for the Giants, because y'all already know Jason Garrett over there. Like, I understand, like, Colombo is also there. So, like, I think he's also there as an offensive line coach. So, if they need, like, offensive line help, they know what they got in Redman. But I do think, if anything, Mitch hired too. Yeah, Mitch, Adam, Devin Smith. If anything, they might be in New York, cause y'all know Jason Garrett over there. And y'all know Jason Garrett run that offense, and all these is offensive guys. So you know that Jason Garrett probably swooped those guys up, cause we know Jason Garrett over there. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I've been working on my thumbnails, man. I'm trying to hold y'all down, man. We're trying to make this thing better every step that we can. I'm also in negotiations and another rollout for the show. So y'all stay tuned. All right, y'all hold down for the Doski Woski Peasky Weesky, man. Cut notifications on, because this is the time of year to where I just drop a gang of videos, and you want to be notified when I drop these random ass film sessions or conversation videos in the middle of the week, just like this. What I want to do with my thumbnails is that in this thumbnail you see a little microphone there, because it's mostly just me talking. Whenever you see a thumbnail on the microphone, that's me just talking. So that's like Cowboys, I'm talking, and it's Voch. So at some point when I start breaking down film and I do my thumbnails or whatever, you're going to see my I Watch Film logo in there too. So I think that's a good way to work my thumbnails. I think that'll be a good fun distinction, just to put a little bit of, put a little bit of bop in it. All right, y'all hold it down, man. Peace.